Good morning, KW Milwaukee, on a beautiful October 7th. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend. And for those that were at AmFam Field last night, hopefully you flew the flag. But in all seriousness, mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspectives. I think it's an interesting time. A lot of you who've known me for a long time know I love the art of competition, because I think sport and the pressure of sport brings out the best, worst, and a lot of lessons to learn from it. And, for those of you that are around from my escapade during the Bucks championship, I don't think I can do the Brewers championship as well, but there's 9 to go if you're keeping track. 1 against Chicago, 7-game series in the NLCS, 7-game series in the World Series, and then we'll do a ticker tape parade down Wisconsin Avenue. Sound good? So in that business is worth owning live.
Charlie,
Yes.
Your screen's not showing on Zoom.
Oh, thanks, Woot. One sec. In that, good, Woot?
Yeah, you're good.
Beautiful. So in the spirit of the flying the flag, there you go. 1 to go against Chicago. But in all seriousness, is a follow-up to last week, and I appreciated your guys' patience with me as I worked through something in real time. I just want to give you a heads up. Cindy's celebration of life will be next week, Thursday, the 16th at 4:30 p.m. It will be at the Wisconsin Club out on Good Hope Road, right across the street from Eline Soccer Park. For those of you who've been around the North Shore for a while, it was the old Brynwood Country Club. It's now the Wisconsin Club. And there's a request from Brian, her husband, to wear purple, as purple was Cindy's favorite color. All right, with that, few education events forthcoming, and then we have a really exciting announcement for you. And not what you might expect. So, October training calendar is out. You can see robust things on here as it relates to Bold. If you aren't in the Bold room but want to understand what it is going on within the Bold room, great things are happening. We saw some great results after week 1 last week as we were reporting numbers. So that is going on, and it finishes October 30th. So for those who've been around the Bold room for a while, know that Bold finishes October 30th versus going all the way through Thanksgiving this year. Next up on the 10th, this week on the 10th from 9 to 1, there is a Versity blood drive at the Prestige office out in Germantown. So if you'd like to donate blood, feel free to jump into the Prestige Market Center from 9 to 1 on Friday the 10th. Jenny Klug from APHW is hosting How to Get Buyers Peace of Mind, Offsetting the Cost of Repairs, all around our preferred vendor with APHW and how your clients can choose their own contractor. That'll be Wednesday the 15th at 11 via Zoom with Kluger. Next up, Opportunity Knocks. So this is for teams who are seeking talent, whether it's admin talent, buyers agents, members for teams, agents who are thinking about starting a team or thinking about joining a team. This is like speed dating for teams. One thing to note, it was originally scheduled for the 16th. We moved the date due to Cindy Coos' Memorial of Life. So please note that the new date is Thursday, October 30th from 4 to 6. We did it immediately after Bold, since we know 130 of you are in the Bold room, and many of you might be interested in what a team opportunity might look like. So sign up for Opportunity Knocks on October 30th at the Zufari Conference Center. Cool? All right. GMAR dues, it's dues season. There was an email sent from Michelle Cohn on September 17th. Just know that we're paying attention and tracking to it. And if you need to be reminded on the first week of January because your MLS has been shut off, that's a stark reminder to pay your dues. And remember, if you're part of the subset, because there's a subset every year that forgets to pay their dues, and then they call us the first week of January freaking out, blaming us for something they didn't do or pay attention to, just remember, look internal before you blame others externally. Sound good? All right. Here we go. So I want to preface this. Willis was excited this morning.
That was yesterday.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, God. So let me set the stage on something. In June, we embarked on a journey. Okay. And the entire leadership team embarked on the journey together. And we went forth and put a ton of resources, time, and effort into building our own internal AI app. And since June, we have spent 90 days, maybe 120 days, playing with it, breaking it, ensuring that the answers you get are accurate, fixing it, breaking it, ensuring that the answers are accurate. And what do I mean by that? Well, take a look. I don't know what Willis has queued up here. So here's what we did. We spent 120 days and we tracked everything. Every time you had a question, we inputted it into. Every time you had a question for a compliance broker, we put it into the app. Every time we got a question from the WRI legal hotline, we put it into the app. Every time that we put, how do I find the team meeting Zoom link? We put it into the app. Every time you asked last night, I got the question and I put it into the app. Can a buyer title a property in a trust and as an individual? I put it into the app.
What's the yes?
That's way too long for this venue. That's why I realized after I said it, that's a very convoluted answer, but here's the point. We have thousands and thousands of documents built within what they call a context window. And we built an AI platform that knows the legalities within the state of Wisconsin, knows our contracts within the state of Wisconsin, knows our independent contractor agreement. So if you want to ask a question, but you might be afraid to ask the question because you know you should know the answer, but you're afraid to ask it, any question you might have, it will answer. And it will answer to about 95% probability with accuracy. The 5% it does not know or there's a nuance to it, it will say, please call Kimmy, Joan, Steph, so on and so forth within our compliance team. It is only meant for the state of Wisconsin. So for those of you who dabble in other states, it is only the state of Wisconsin. This is something we built in-house, proprietary technology. And it has 95% probability it can answer any contract, legal, or compliance question that you might have. And if it doesn't in the 5%, it will direct you to Chief Herbert, Lieutenant Kennard, or any of the other, Sheriff Reed, any of the other compliance team. Make sense? Now, here's the other thing about the app. The first thing I need you to do is download it to start playing with it and asking it questions. It is a chat GPT for anything you might need within our environment, including our internal resources. You need the roster, it'll give it to you in a moment's notice. You have the training calendar, it'll give you all the Zoom links or what you might need. Compliance answers, Market Center resources, never miss a beat with the Market Center calendar. Everything we have within our Market Center, we are uploading and putting into it every single day, and we are managing it on the back end. The other thing we can do with it is if you feel that you got an answer that might be a little questionable from a compliance standpoint, Kimmy has the access to the AI brains, that's what we're just calling it, to review all questions and answers. So we're reviewing these things in real time and ensuring that you're getting accurate information. The other pieces to it, which we will evolve and break out to you over time, is it currently does, but we want to get you on the platform first, right? Take one bite at a time. It will have the ability to communicate with any leadership team member that you need to directly, to eliminate any sort of unnecessary texts or emails or phone calls for that matter. It will have the ability for us to run agent invoices through it. It will give us the opportunity to ping you to say, hey, reminder, 9 a.m. team meeting is starting. Hey, reminder, Opportunity Knox is coming up. Have you registered? It has a two-way communication platform, AI, everything that you might think of. And it is live now on both the Apple Store and the Android Store. And I will tell you, it is exceptional. Exceptional. We spent probably 1,000+ cases of questions that you guys have asked us or compliance-related issues into the app, training the LLM to understand our business model, what we allow, what we don't allow, and as to how to advise you. Kimmy, did I miss anything on that?
I just want to have a quick little disclaimer about compliance questions, right? Because
Leave it to Chief Herbert.
yeah. As Charlie was mentioning, we inputted everything that it is currently reading. So it's not like your regular ChatGPT where it's reading God knows what. It's only reading the information that we've given it, which is amazing, which can we rest assured it's giving you the correct information. However, it is still a robot. You have to be mindful of how you are prompting the app with how you're asking the question. They say an average prompt should include 21 words on average. Typically, people are only putting in 9 words. You need to have a lot of detail in your question to ensure that you're getting the exact answer that you need. Lindsay's going to touch on this a little bit more of what those prompts look like. But for someone like me who is brand new to the ChatGPT AI world, who'd never dabbled in it until a couple months ago, I've learned a lot, and it took a lot of kind of figuring out, okay, how do I need to word this? You can ask it 2 questions different ways, and it might give you a different answer. So just a little disclaimer on that. Do not be afraid to continue to reach out to anybody on your compliance team if you're unsure about the question answer you're getting. We don't want this to be don't come to us, just ask our agent AI. We're still available. We still want to be your resources, but it's just an extra tool for you to use when you're on the go and maybe waiting for a response from us, etc. So that's my compliance legal disclaimer.
So the goal of it is to create prompts for you to get immediate answers, including things like the form library. Hey, what is the language I need to enter into an offer to purchase if I'm a principal within a transaction? What do I need to know if I need to disclose that I'm a principal of an LLC that's buying an investment property? And you don't have that. You don't have your computer. You don't want to go into zip forms. You can ask it and it will prompt it back to you within seconds, including it will give you the materials from team meeting in case you want all the slides. It will give you the lore report in terms of what is the local market stats. Anything we have will now be housed within here. And to Kimmy's point, it is locked. So it is only learning from the information we provide it. It is not searching outside of our environment for information, so that we're controlling the information that is being output to you to ensure that you have what you need. Make sense? Yes.
Like KW credentials as to where only our agents receive access?
Great question. Yes. So part of the background information in our onboarding processes, when you enter into our environment, you have access to it. And as soon as you exit our environment, you will lose access to it. And because I didn't want to buy something off the shelf, I wanted to build something proprietary. There will be nobody else in the market that will have access to this information or the platform in which we built it on. So I was looking for a competitive advantage and not giving you something that anybody could have access to. And yes, you gain access to it and lose access to it. Yes.
It's called KWMKE in the App Store.
KWMKE in the App Store. Correct. Very easy. What else? Any other questions within the chat? No? Sweet. More to come on this. We're going to layer in the value pieces of what the app can do. I just want you getting comfortable with the fact that there is an app that is powered by AI now all around everything that's within our environment, and you'll see a robust tools and resources. Cool? Sweet. All right. With that, Kimmy?
Sorry, this is just a follow-up.
To GMAR dues, you don't need to send it to compliance. Remember to pay by the end of the year. You're good. All right. With that, I asked Linz to come up to help you guys understand and teach you a little around unlocking your AI edge. So from the playbook, the most important piece of the AI playbook is prompts. Kind of a big buzzword right now across all industries. Prompts, prompts, prompts. So I asked Linz to help you guys understand a little bit more about prompting in order for you to take advantage of what we are rolling out.
Yeah, okay. So Keller Williams rolled out a second AI playbook during Mega Camp this year, and we did some training on it in September. So if you want to check out those trainings, we did a 3-part training that is uploaded to our YouTube channel. But one of the key pieces that was part of that AI playbook was all around prompts, and specifically the RICE model. So like Kimmy kind of mentioned, the more detail, the better your answer is going to be within any AI or large language model. So the AI playbook specifically goes through RICE, which stands for role, instructions, context, and examples. And so it really breaks down exactly how you're going to write your prompt and to give you very specific information in terms of what you need to provide that large language model in order to get what you're looking for. So your role, so you're going to establish basically who the assistant is, how it should communicate, and what its main goals are. Then you're going to give it instructions. So tell the model what you want it to do and not do. Set rules, give clear directions, use clear tone words to shape the response, like formal, casual, friendly, serious, humorous, and then give it context. So add any extra information that the model needs, like data it wouldn't already know. Put this near the end since it may change with every use. And then provide examples. So just give sample inputs of the ideal responses that you're looking for. So this helps guide the model's responses to your liking. So keep that in mind anytime you're asking, whether it's ChatGPT, whether it's the new KW MKE AI app, Gemini, which everyone has for free through their Google Suite through Keller Williams, any AI model. Keep this in mind when you're perfecting your prompts. So here's an example. So your role, okay, an example of that is act as a real estate marketing assistant focused on high converting listing ads. The instructions, write a social post under 120 words, punchy, friendly, with one hook, 3 benefits, and a clear call to action. Avoid jargon. Give it context. Property is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath ranch in Shorewood near Atwater Park. Target audience is move-up buyers. Highlight the walkability, updated kitchen, fenced yard, and it's open Saturday 11 to 1. And here are some examples. Here's the hook, walk to the lake, live the life, benefits, updated kitchen, sunny living room, etc. Call to action, DM Shorewood for photos and open house details. So it is very, very clear with those details. So your role, instructions, context, and examples. So there's an example that you can go off of when you are thinking about your prompt and how you are asking the question that you're looking for in order to get what you need from that model. So if you're interested in viewing that full AI playbook, including more information on the RICE model, check it out here, download it. Ton of really great content, really meat and potatoes like information when you are starting out using AI and how to perfect it. So again, this is all going to help you too when you're downloading that new KW MKE app and you're starting to use it and ask some of those compliance questions. So hopefully that helps. Any questions, let me know.
Thanks, Linz. So I'm going to give you the context to Megan's question earlier. Here was the question I asked it last night. A friend of mine at Robertson and Ryan sent me a text, said, can a buyer title a property in both a trust and an individual? My prompt was, in the state of Wisconsin, on an offer to purchase and on title, how would a buyer title a property with a trust and as an individual? Because it was a son and father buying a property together. And there was as you can imagine, there was a lot of information that went into it, and there's a variety of ways you can do it. But my point being is that we then verified it with Kimmy last night. I said, hey, I just want to make sure that this is what I'm looking at, even though we've looked at thousands and thousands of examples. And she was like, yep, good to go. And I was like, great. So even instructionally based things from a legal contract standpoint, it can help you with. And the key to it is adding as much context as possible. One of the things that Kimmy mentioned this morning that I think is very, very important for you to understand. The average prompt right now across all platforms is 9 words. The highest and best answer is 21 plus words within a prompt. So the encouragement I would have for you is, as you are using any of these platforms, increase the amount of words and information that you can put within the prompt, because 9 won't cut it and 21 is ideal from a number of words perspective to get the most accurate information. Make sense? Cool. All right. With that, to be honest with you, we're kind of flying through team meeting today, and I have the market of the moment insights for you. So here's what I would say. I'm going to go into the September data for you and help you understand what it is that we're seeing within the market. If you remember last month, I had an interesting commentary, and the commentary was the market is trending like the weather, cooling off. And that was true for about 2 weeks. And then last week, the weather hit like 85 degrees, 90 degrees over the weekend. And guess what happened to the market? It heated up like the weather. And I'll give you the context as to why I'm seeing that and where it shows up. I've shared with you the energy dial as it relates to where we are within our businesses and how you need to be thinking about approaching your businesses related to strategic planning heading into 2026. And my comment I would make to you right now is you cannot have a great year next year if you miss your first quarter. There is no amount of business to be had in the third and fourth quarter in the third and fourth quarter to miss a first quarter. You will all be busy from March through September. The challenge of it is will you be busy in January and February, or will you be busting your butts in September and October to make up for when you took off around the holidays? Don't take off. I give this urging to you every single year because I see this of some of the most successful people in our environment who don't have a closing till April or May, and they're sucking wind. And then all of a sudden their energy changes around how they approach their clients and their peers. And we don't want that for you or your families as you head into the first quarter of 2026. I shared with you the Fortune Housing data and statistics, and I'm going to hit you with it again because I think it's vitally important as you begin to segment your databases as to how you approach your 2026 plans. And the ages 46 to 79 is the most robust market. 75% of sellers and 66% of buyers were within this age demographic. Okay. 3/4 of the entire industry lives above the age of 46. Where are you as it relates to the amount of people in your database that fit within this age band, and how are you communicating to them effectively in order for you to communicate what it is that you do and how you help people navigate complex situations is important. Because the challenge of it is, and this is the truth, average age of a first-time homebuyer last year was 38. It's the highest it's ever been in 30 plus years. And it's getting older. There's a lot of reasons for that. Household creation is being delayed longer, a variety of other factors related to student debt, so on and so forth. And so as you think about who you're communicating to, both from a listing standpoint and a buyer standpoint, but also for those of you that host first-time homebuyer seminars, I think you need to be thinking a bit more strategically about who you're targeting in those first-time homebuyer seminars, because it's really you're targeting the 35-year-old, not the 25-year-old. And so are you creating events around how you're attracting those individuals? Because those individuals in 3 to 5 years will be your listing and your buyer. Okay? So here's the market of the moment information for you as it relates to September. In the month of September, there was 2,637 new units that came to the market in the month of September. That was 13 less than September of last year. Additionally, this month, I looked at it again, September versus August of this year and September this year versus 23. Okay? Very interesting trend here. Okay? And I need to point this out to you. Historically, and this is going back to September of 2023, you start to see the market fall from August on down to January. Okay? You see it again, it happened in September of 24. Interesting trend here. And again, 1 month could be an anomaly, 2 months is a trend. August to September, we were up 6% in total new inventory units. That's the first time that's happened in more than 2 years. Okay. And so my question is, because new inventory grew from August to September of this year, is that an abnormal seasonal trend? And we're going to be paying attention to the October new inventory data to determine what the fall might look like. My point being to it is, don't let your foot off the gas as a listing agent because there are more opportunities this fall than we had seen in the previous 2 falls. And the data is starting to tell us it's trending in that direction. There's a variety of reasons to that, which I'll explain here later. Okay. Total inventory, a couple things to pay attention to. Total inventory in September was at 6,828 total inventory was on the market. It was up 4% versus September of last year and up 3% versus August of this year. When you compare it versus September of 23, it's up almost 9%. It is the total amount of inventory on the market right now in the month of September was the highest it has been in 2 years. The highest it has been in 2 years. There are 3 things you need to pay attention to as it relates to being a listing agent. Okay. And it's the vital signs within the business as it relates to the inventory you carry and the inventory that your peers carry. 1, you got to be paying attention to days on market. We now have the highest amount of inventory on the market. I would imagine over the next 30, 60, 90 days, our days on market is going to go up because it is the highest amount of inventory the market has carried in 2+ years. You will see data here in a second. List price to accepted offer ratios are starting to soften. Okay. Sharpen your pencils as you begin to take inventory because you don't want to get expired. And these are all foreshadowing as to data that will be forthcoming. Because expired inventory units is also the highest it's been in 2 years. There was 761 expired inventory units in the month of September. It was up 21% versus September of last year, up 24% versus August of this year, and up 38% versus September of 23. Highest it has been in 2+ years in one singular month. Okay. You have to right size your seller's expectations. You have to communicate proactively and you have to price appropriately. Okay. And as I feel like I've been beating a dead horse on this for 2 years because it's only been going up and to the right, is 1, when you get a listing, don't lose a listing. And 2, there is an opportunity to be second in the marketplace. And there is absolutely a strategy to be had to diversify your lead generation efforts if you've never focused on expired listings. There's more opportunity now than there has ever been before because sellers are getting impatient. And they have recency bias as it relates to the velocity and rate of sale in the market that we've all worked in. Now, the interesting thing to note, though, is average days on market has not substantially increased in any sort of meaningful way. September this year versus last year, it was only 4 days slower. And versus August of this year, it was only 3 days slower. And versus September of 23, it was 2 days faster. Okay. We're essentially operating in the same market we have been for the last 2 years. The challenge to it is everybody expects their listing to go up on a Thursday and be sold by a Sunday. And that's not the reality of the situation. Right size expectations. There's no significant change in velocity and rate of sale. Although I will tell you, this is one of the vital signs I'll be paying attention to as we head into October because of the total amount of inventory is the highest it's been in 2+ years. This is the first metric I would start to see it change, as well as pricing. More to come on that. Sales absorption rate, this is the percentage of inventory that goes under contract in a given month. I look at this as because this is one of the greatest indications we have of demand. Interestingly to note, there's no significant or substantial changes here. Last month when I said to you the market is changing like the weather, that was true. And it shows you how quickly our market can change. A 2% decrease from September of this year versus last year is no meaningful difference, right? I would argue that there's a plus or minus elasticity within the data that would make that meaningless, right? So demand remains relatively stable and it's following a seasonal slowdown. Okay. Now, how is this all impacting units that are going under contract? Well, when there's an increase in new inventory that we saw from August to September, and it was up significantly versus September of last year, it's going to lead to more units going under contract. September was up 2% versus prior year. It was effectively even versus August, and it was up 8% versus September of 23. My comment here is that buyers are back, and there is a reason for it. I'll share with you next. August, we saw a substantial drop, but September bounced back. Rate changes definitely helped us. So what am I referring to? Let's take a look at mortgage rates. Here's the 5-year mortgage rate, and I'm going to share this with you in a 5-year perspective to a 1-year perspective. This is going back to January of 2021. And you can see the impact of the rate changes within the marketplace. To note, the peak of the market from a rates perspective was somewhere between July of 23 to January of 24 was the peak of the market from a rates perspective. Now, let's zoom in a little bit from a 1-year perspective. And interestingly to note, in mid-September of 2025 was the lowest rates had been in over a year. So if we back up and we go back to the commentary I gave you last month around that the market is changing, the market can change both on the downswing and the upswing like a moment's notice because of rates. And so we're seeing total inventory go up, we're seeing new inventory go up, and we're seeing units going under contract going up at the same time that rates are going down. I'll be paying attention to rates heading into the fourth quarter and first quarter to help give us an indication as where I think the spring will head into 2026. But this isn't a bad trend for us heading into the third and fourth quarter. Well, kind of in the meat of the third quarter and heading into the fourth quarter. So how is it impacting pricing? We look at it from an average perspective and a median perspective. Averages were up 12% versus September of last year, and median was up 10%. Versus August, it was even, which is not a bad thing in any sort of way. And when you look at it versus September, it was up 18% on the average. Versus September of 23, it was up 18% on the average and up 18% on the median as well. So long story short, while the competitive nature of the market has cooled a little bit, and you'll see this within the accepted offer data here shortly, prices are still appreciating. And then when we look at it on a price per square foot basis, you can see September of this year versus last year was up 3% versus September of 23. It was up 8%. A little bit of mixed bag because averages and mediums have grown substantially. Price per square foot was grown, but not at the same rate that averages and medians have. And so what's winning? I give you the 5 pieces of information that we look at every single month. And I did take a deeper dive into the inspections with thresholds on some feedback that I got after last month. So I appreciate those of you who reached out. Here's what we're looking at. When you compare it versus the apex of our market in 2025, here's what we were dealing with in the apex, which was May, June. In May, if you recall, I said May was the apex of the market when historically, from a seasonal perspective, it had been June. It's been shifting earlier and earlier into May. Okay, and you can see the impact it has on these 5 metrics that I would make an argument that these are the vital signs within your business as well. Then when you compare it to July and August, you can see how some of the seasonal slowdown and cool down affected those metrics as it relates to what was winning and the various measures that people pulled in order to get deals together. One thing I will note is the inspections with threshold. This is 34% of deals that had inspections had a threshold. Does that make sense? So 34% of deals that had an inspection had a threshold, with the average threshold being 5,500 in July. 56% of deals in August had an inspection, had a threshold, with the average threshold being 5,400. So let's take a look at what we saw in September. September, we looked at 119 deals that we evaluated. Okay. List price to accepted offer ratio. You can starting to see that seasonal cool down as it relates to competitiveness. I also think that there's an argument to be made that some listing agents have gotten a bit, or maybe not listing agents, that's probably the wrong place to put it. Maybe some consumers have gotten maybe a bit overzealous as to what they believe the value of their property to be, right? Cash offers versus financed. 33% of offers were cash, 67% were financed. That is a bit of an increase in terms of the people that are utilizing cash to buy properties. Inspection contingency, this was a substantial change. Okay, first time this year we had seen, outside of July, I should take that back. We had seen where 56% of all deals had an inspection contingency, 44% did not. Of the 56% that did, 30% of them had an inspection threshold with an average threshold of $6,000. And interestingly enough, as I made commentary last month, as it relates to some of the seasonal cool down and how I believe that people are leveraging commission rates as a way to be more competitive within the market on the offer to purchase side. We are starting to see the co-broke compensation go back up again as we head back into the fall, which remained consistent and stable as to what we saw from an August perspective. Make sense? So here were my predictions that I just go back to in terms of what I believed was going to happen that I shared with you in December of last year. And I'm starting to formulate my predictions for 2026. And here's my market of the moment grocery store script. Is to boil all this down for you that when you walk into Quick Trip, Sendix, or Piggly Wiggly, shop the pig. All right. Demand of the market. Demand is changing like the fall seasons. It's cooling down. Psych. That happened fast. Drop in rates had buyers running back to the market. It was the lowest rates had been in over a year. Okay. How is it impacting inventory? New inventory coming to the market picked back up again in September. Overall available inventory in the market was the highest it's been in 2+ years. Pay attention to your vital signs though. Days on market and list price to accepted offer ratios. Pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. Okay. Expireds. They accelerated pace because sellers are getting impatient. They have recency bias. They have recency bias. Highest it has been in 2+ years, the number of expireds within a singular month. Set expectations, communicate price appropriately. Rates were the lowest they have been since July of 24. And despite all of this, homes are continuing to appreciate in 2025. So my synopsis, rates are the lowest they've been in a year plus. Most available inventory we've seen in years. Seller who sell need to be realistic because we're in an ultra competitive market that is cooling in the fall. Right size, how long will this take and what is it worth? Proactive with your price trade strategy, make it time dependent. Yet prices are not cooling. Consumers are signaling they still value real estate as a stable asset. They are still signaling that they value the asset. Okay, so there is your grocery store market of the moment script for September. All the data is available to you not only on the Agent Hub, it is now available to you in the Agent Intelligence app through KW MKE that you have access to and you can utilize. And with that, I forgot I put this in here. A little quick note. We're going to profit share $69,000 in the month of September. It was up just a cool 22% versus September of last year. Year to date, we'll have paid out $627,000 in profit share, which is up 7% versus prior year. So make sure you check your bank accounts on October 21st for your September profit share. Cool. Just for perspective, I never bring this up, but Brew is always the first to tag me in it. I think this will place us in the top 10 in the entire country in terms of profit share paid out in the entire company.
Gary's market center.
So there you go. There's your market of the moment script. Brew, thanks for being a great cheerleader. And guys, it's a great day to be alive. It's a great day to be in Milwaukee. Download the app. If you have questions, we're here. And I want to reiterate something that Kimmy said. This is not replacing headcount. This is value add to get you access to information faster. And our team is working in the background to make sure you have everything you need to succeed and continue pushing forward. Sound good? It's a beautiful day. Go Brewers.